Hello, hello, everybody. Another Snarkfest. This week we are doing the Phantom Menace
Thank goodness.
as Marie messes with her hair. Yeah, Phantom Menace. What?
Well, one Tuesday is Star Wars Day, so
Yep, that is true.
we're gonna play a
We're
game with Phantom Menace.
pretty much. Yeah. Um, I remember when this movie was coming out, the hype was insane because, like, oh my god, they're making more Star Wars. It was insane. And then the movie came out, and it was like, what? Seriously? Um,
The the problem with the prequels is that the feel of them is so different from the originals. They're brighter, they just feel newer. But to be fair, it's because it's about a civilization that was at its peak just before the Empire thrust them back into the Dark Ages, more or less. But
pretty much.
and it and and it kind of went against some of the background that Lucas had semi set up in A New Hope. And it introduced midi-chlorians, which is what really pissed people off. And Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah. Oh god, I'm Jar Jar Binks.
If it
Yeah.
hadn't had Jar Jar Binks and midi-chlorians, I think fans would have accepted the Phantom Menace a lot better.
I can actually give you that. I mean,
Because
granted, there was still. I mean, there was still a lot of people were like, okay, well, maybe it was like a false start because I mean, really, this is the ever since Star Wars, the Phantom Menace would be the first real big thing that George Lucas did. So I mean, there was a kind of a sense of, maybe he just tripped up and the Attack of the Clones won't be as bad. Unfortunately, it's just as bad, if not worse, depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
I'm honestly on the fence about which one is worse, this one or the Attack of the Clones. I mean, I switch it up pretty regularly just because they're just so bad.
Attack of the Clones has some good moments in it, but you're right. There's equally cringy parts that you're just like, why? Who wrote this and thought this was a good idea?
Well, it's like that meme I sent you. It's just that meme of I am all the Sith, well, I am all the Jedi, and then written by
who wrote this? A child? Yes.
an adult? Question mark. And a lot of that is the case in this. And obviously, before we begin, we do need to stress that obviously we will not. I mean, we're going to be being harsh upon the actors, but obviously we're going to be harsh on the acting. But obviously, we do not mean to badmouth or any of the actors, anybody who had part in this, because it's not the actor's fault that this movie sucked. It is not Liam Neeson didn't go to George Lucas and say, "Put me in a horrible movie."
Like I said, if it weren't for Jar Jar Binks and midichlorians, I don't think I would actually hate this movie.
Yeah.
It's cheesy. Like I said, it's got a different feel than the originals. It's definitely it's cheesy. It is super cheesy. But
it's something you could almost see on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah. A lot of people were annoyed with young Anakin, but I kind of think it's hilarious you get introduced to the kid so young. My other problem with it is that in A New Hope, when Uncle Ben is talking about Anakin, it seems like they actually were brothers and that Anakin was a little older when he decided to leave. So Phantom Menace kind of, like I said, completely goes against what little background Lucas had actually set up in A New Hope, but that's okay.
Well, I mean, you're right there. You're kind of getting into stuff that is we should probably save that for when we actually start watching the movie and actually get introduced to him. But yeah,
that's fair. I think we're ready to go.
So yeah, and again, if anybody wants to join us, this is on Disney Plus, so feel free to join in. I believe you posted the link. Yes,
I tried. I posted it as a comment to your post and not to the stream. So let's try this again.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah. So yeah, and like I said, anybody wants to watch along with us, feel free. And obviously, like I said, if you can find out how to get the chats to work, feel free to post that.
The funny thing is, the chats were working fine last weekend when I hosted.
You ran it, but for some reason they don't like to work with me.
Like, I was able to see everyone's comments. I could respond to them.
And but no, for some
My
reason
comments still aren't popping up on the side, so I don't know if people are going to be able to join us, but that's okay.
We're like watching. I said, this one is on my personal timeline versus.
But I reposted it to the stream.
Yeah, so it should go through. So you'd think. So. You posted it on Nerdfest, which is, like I said, I'm going to be watching Nerdfest for comments just in case there's anything on that. Because I don't know how it works.
No, that's why.
Because, like I said, it's on 2 different sites, so it's like, okay, which side is going to get the comments? So yeah, you want to post the link on my personal one?
Did you post it originally on your site?
Yeah, it's originally on my timeline, and then I shared it to. Yeah.
Maybe. Okay.
Because I don't know how to share the links on this. I'm sorry.
That's fair. That's okay.
I don't know how to use Disney Plus. I'm stupid.
I didn't know what I was doing last week either.
Fair enough. I'll let you get that posted, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Maybe.
No, whatever. I'll just. It's posted. I think if people check out the stream, the link's there. It's just not showing up.
Yeah.
On our.
So I see it. I see it on my phone, but I don't see it on
this.
I don't know what's going on. So the comments are working, just not for us. Okay.
Yeah. So we apologize if we don't answer any comments. We got to monitor them separately on our phones. They're not popping up on the Be Live app for some dumb reason today. Whatever.
Let me just put it like this: we are professionals, but not at this.
Yes, that's a different way of putting it.
So yeah, if anybody wants to join along with us, feel free to join in. And if anybody is watching this on a later date and wants to watch along with us, go ahead and get it all synced up to the start of the movie. And in 3, 2, 1, play.
Maybe.
This is the benefit about doing Disney. Yeah, well, obviously it's always going to have the buffering of.
Yeah,
we got So I mean, mind you, if you're watching this on a later date and you started it already, you may be like 30 seconds. You may be a few seconds ahead of us, but generally we'll be.
So the game we're going to play is when we see Queen Amidala, you have to guess if it's Keira Knightley or if it's Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman, yeah.
That's the game. I believe in you.
And
I've already looked up the answers, so I'll just tell you if you're right or not.
Okay. And I should mention when this movie came out and the Star Wars came out, and there was in the theater, it was like, yeah, and then later on in the movie, everybody's like, no.
So I didn't see this movie in theaters because I was only like 11.
Yeah.
And my parents didn't want to take us because they didn't care about Star Wars. And my older sister at the time was not taking her 11-year-old sister to see Star Wars.
Fair enough. First things first, we need to get on is turmoil has engulfed the Galactic Republic. The taxation of trade routes. Seriously?
Yes.
Is that really the starting premise we're going on? Because it's like I almost expected, like in the back.
There's a blockade of deadly battleships around Naboo. So that's the other fun thing. I love Star Wars planet blockades.
Yeah.
Congress is debating this.
Yeah.
So we have Qui-Gon.
This is basically an action movie about the IRS. That's the only way to describe it, and that's not exactly. And Becky has joined us.
It's the Fade Federation itself is trying to tax people. It's not the government. It's the actual I don't know. It's weird. See, look at that awful blockade. How you can go above or below it?
Go up.
I don't understand.
Yeah. No, Star Wars has always had that has that problem. And granted, a lot of sci-fi movies have that problem of go up. I mean, and
I watched something recently where they had a planet-wide blockade, and it was actually ships like had made a grid around the entire planet. It looked like a net. It was legit, unlike this crap.
Well, it reminds me of in Wrath of Khan, they have a whole series of like, Khan's super intelligent, but he's inexperienced. So what they do is they drop down and then let Khan go above them, and then they come up behind him. So yeah, it's like this is 3-dimensional space. You don't have to go that way. You can go up. You can go down. You can go, Well, it reminds me of Independence Day. It's like we go up, we go down, we go side to side, and Jeff Goldblum throws up.
It's PC-14, and my older sister got teased a little bit for it because, again, I was 11. My little sister and I called her TC as a nickname for Teresa, and 14 is her birthday. So one of her friends actually bought a C-3PO toy, painted it silver, reboxed it, and gave it to her for her birthday. And said, "Look, it's you!" She actually loved it. She did a really good job.
Well,
so that's my sister in Star Wars, TC-14.
There you go. Oh, man. I've never actually met your sister or even talked to her on Facebook now that I think about it, but
neither of my sisters really go on Facebook, so that's why.
Fair enough.
So I can just talk about
and
them.
I don't think they Fair enough. Well, my brothers don't really come on this either, so yeah. Yeah, and here we got the Nemoidians, which this has always bothered me because even as a kid I was like, these are very poor puppets. And I remember only a couple of years ago I talked to an actual puppeteer, and he oh my god, he went on a complete fit about the puppets in this. Give me guys some alcohol and just sit back and let him rage. He was pissed off.
I still love how Qui-Gon Jinn is freaking Liam Neeson before he got super before Taken. Yeah. It's just so funny seeing him in Star Wars.
Yeah, no doubt. Liam Neeson before he became Liam Neeson almost. Yeah, or Mace Windu is another one of this is Mace Windu before he became this is not Mace Windu, frick.
Yep.
This is Samuel L. Jackson before he became Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh no, Samuel L. Jackson was Samuel L. Jackson when
he was Samuel. Yeah, he was. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. And this part here is like the Chancellor should never have brought him and kill him immediately. How are you gonna explain that one?
I think that was actually part of his plan, is to have the Trade Federation attack the Jedi, thinking that the Jedi would come out of it. But maybe not. Yeah, because again, the Chancellor, he's not the Chancellor yet, by the way.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
No, but I'm saying that a line that Sidious had. A line Sidious had is.
This whole movie is Senator Palpatine's ploy to become Chancellor.
Yeah. No, but he had a line there of the Chancellor should never have gotten them involved in this anyway, kill them. But it's
because he's talking about the real Chancellor. Emperor Palpatine is not Chancellor yet. He's trying to depose the Chancellor. So, you kill the Jedi, you prove the Chancellor's a moron for sending him, you get him out the way, and you take a spot.
Well, no, my point is that you think that they're not going to realize that, 2 people they send this are dead, and they're not going to look into that?
Okay, but here's the other thing. Because if you remember, when we get to the second movie, we find out about the dude who, oh my god, I can't remember his name. The dude who bought the clones, essentially, right? Because this Chancellor right now that sent these 2 here, also sent that dude out to buy the clones.
Fair enough.
And he went missing and nobody noticed. So.
Yeah.
It's not that far-fetched for Jedi to go missing, apparently, on the job, and no one notices.
I do need to point out, in this scene, I remember reading an article about how hot a lightsaber would need to be able to melt that door if that door were, say, titanium. And I don't remember the exact number, but it was enough power to basically fuel an aircraft carrier for its entire freaking life. which, mind you, modern day aircraft carriers for the United States are nuclear powered.
He just the Jedi like flash speed run out of the hallway, which I don't think we ever see them do ever again.
And another thing, and I know I mentioned this on countless streams up. They've gone through the ventilation shaft. The ventilation shaft is not the secret escape hatch. It's how you ventilate the ship. So if you go through there, you're probably not even gonna fit. It's super tight.
Well, garbage. I don't think anyone built ships. Like, I just feel like this stuff is just done on purpose at this point. When you can fit down garbage chutes, which actually you can in real life too. It's not good. Oh, here we go. Is this Natalie Portman or Keira Knightley? What?
That's got to be Keira Knightley.
It is not. That's Natalie Portman.
Seriously?
Yes. Wow.
I was gonna base it off her voice. It's like that doesn't sound like Natalie Portman, but
that's the other fun thing is they both talk in this deep voice the entire movie.
They both talk in this monotone robot voice.
Yes. And then when you meet her again in the next movie, she talks in her normal Natalie voice, and it's high-pitched and not monotonous, and you're like,
yeah.
Is this the same actress?
No doubt.
Like she uses like a deep voice. I am Queen Amidala. Like she has a queen voice. You know how like you talk differently on the phone when you're at work than you do at normal? I think that's her queen voice.
Yeah. And that just made me think of when I got a new job at the hotel. Before I had that job, I worked at a pizza place. So I had a couple times of like answering phone was like, "Thank you for calling." Oh shit, wrong business, and just named the wrong business. And this part always gets me of what's happening.
See, he's the Senator Palpatine.
Yeah, no, this part it's like they're blocking our communication. It can only mean invasion. It could just be the server went down. Sorry, we'll have it back up in 5 minutes. And I'm assuming that's still probably
it's still Natalie Portman. Yeah, I was gonna let that one go.
Yeah, because I mean, granted, we just had it seen, and then all of a sudden it cut to another scene to wherever. So
yeah, she hasn't had the chance to change yet.
Yeah, oh my god, and there's a joke we'll be getting into later of how often she changes.
Yes.
Which reminds me, there's a fan-made movie on YouTube called The Emperor's New Clones that has a perfect parody of that. If you have not watched that, pause this and go look it up. It is hilarious. The Emperor's New Clones. It is awesome. I don't know if I've ever shared you here's another part that bugs me. They're invading the planet. Why are they going there? Why don't they just land, I don't know, right on top of the freaking place? Why are they going through the forest?
Don't know.
This is tactically not a good decision, or strategically not a good decision. If you're doing this, book it. Don't just sit around.
Oh, but how else are we supposed to meet Jar Jar Binks if they were to have done this? Oh, there he is.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. What does Jar Jar Binks do in this movie?
He's super unlucky. That's what he does. Jar Jar Binks is so clumsy. He's like the one that accidentally breaks the things you need to break because he's just that guy.
Oh, that's... And I mean, like I said, and because from what if I remember correctly, for Jar Jar Binks, they hired a comedian to play him. So, I mean, like I said earlier, we have no shade on the guy who's actually doing the voice, but it's like, my gosh, the character is stupid.
No, it's just the fact that Lucas meant to, introduce such an annoying character.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because his point is he was supposed to be comedic relief. Because that was the idea. And I remember after this movie came out, George Lucas I don't know if it was an interview or something, but it was like, oh yeah, of course people hate Jar Jar Binks. They hate C-3PO2 at the beginning. It's like, that's not the point. he's just so inept and stupid. I remember I posted an entire
Yeah, because you're right. C-3PO is also annoying, but he's not but his comedic relief is actually funny. Jar Jar Binks is so annoying, but when he does funny stuff, you're just cringing because you're like, oh God, why?
Yeah, and even kids hated Jar Jar Binks too.
A lot of them actually liked him. I had a friend who loved Jar Jar, had a Jar Jar T-shirt and everything.
That's disheartening. Because I remember I hated Jar Jar, and as I was a kid, because this movie came out in 1999, which would have made me 10 or 11, and I hated Jar Jar Binks. So
I mean, I did too. And what I think about the character is people who had grown up watching the original trilogy hated Jar Jar, but people who just got into Star Wars with this movie like him. That's how I feel. That's what I think happens. Because there are people who actually don't hate Jar Jar.
I don't get it. I don't know.
I don't either.
So.
Oh my God.
And here we go. Underwater. Now, this part always kind of get me. Okay, we have this giant secret city underwater, and it's not exactly that secret. You could see that from the bottom of a boat. That is... I mean, if you're out on that lake fishing, you look over the side, what's that glowy shit? Yeah, it's not exactly well hidden.
That is a really deep lake, though, if that thing's floating in the middle of it.
Well, just wait. We'll get to that later.
It goes through the planet, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I forgot.
I will say,
because that's how they get that's how they get to the capital city.
Yeah. Although here we got them. They're coming out and they're not.
Oh, look, they're suddenly dry.
Yeah.
Look at how dry their heavy, wet Jedi robes are.
It does need to be said. There's a reason for that. It's very difficult to get actors to do a quick change in wet clothing. So that's why, I mean, they obviously tried to make them look wet. No. But yeah, it is, you can tell it is dry. And like I said, it's because it's very difficult to do a quick change or anything in wet clothing.
Those
Jedi that's why they're in dry.
So heavy and so hard to move in, soaking wet too. Swimming would have been awful in them. Because it would it would not only weigh you down, it would actually it would just weigh you down.
We just had a moment of where it's obviously CGI of Ian McGregor looked over at something and he's supposed to be looking at something, but the CGI wasn't there, so he's just looking over at nothing. And I mean, mind you, that's not again, no shade on the actor or anything, because like I said, it's just
that's poor directing.
They're on a green screen.
Guiding their eyes to where they needed to be.
Yeah.
And clearly the stand-in was doing the job poorly or something happened where Ewan, oh my God, just got the timing off.
Yeah. I mean, mind you, it does need to be said, a lot of times when they're using CGIs, a lot of times what they react to is there's a tennis ball on top of a stick. You're looking at that. So that's basically what a lot of this shit is, because this is all green screen, which is a problem. It's
for stuff like this, you usually do have people standing where the CGI is going to be.
Yeah, you'll have CGI people in completely CGI costumes. So this setup, probably. But in that last scene, primarily. Yeah. This is supposed to be ominous. You got to go through the planet core. Thank you very much. We leave in peace. And this part here. Why are you trying to rescue him? You don't need him.
Yeah, but he did bring him here because they asked him to, knowing that this would happen. It is their fault.
Okay,
he is now about to be exterminated for coming home when he wasn't welcome.
Yeah. Although that's another question that I should probably not mention now, but because it's going to be mentioned in 10 minutes. But he said punished. So punished. How is he going to be punished? Is it death? Do we know that?
I have no idea.
Yeah, he just said punished, which and this here. It does need to be said, especially in the ancient world of you owe this person a life debt. Yeah, they take that shit seriously. So if you were to have the death penalty, but you owe your life to someone else, they like in like the Roman prescriptions are a prime example. If you were prescribed, you were gonna die basically. But if you owed your life to someone else, they legally had to leave it up to that guy to kill you, which a lot of times they did because it's like in the prescriptions it was very much, hey, I kill you, I get your shit. So yeah, and yeah, they're we need to mention they're going through the planet core and they're not going through lava or melting in any way. Naboo is a really fucked up planet.
Yes, it is.
And yeah, here you go. How do you get banished for being clumsy?
Because you broke something that was really expensive, or like sentimental, or had a lot of meaning. You know, he broke something.
Is there ever a human alive ever that humanity has just exiled? I know that there are people historically that we want to exile, but they're already dead that we can't do anything about it. But what was your? Do you think they have some way of like defending themselves against being eaten by some of the giant monsters that happen to frequent this place?
No, because I don't think they typically go through the planet core. I don't think they typically go this deep.
Yeah,
because of the monsters. So they may not have defenses. But you would think that maybe they would to like keep out invaders and stuff at least.
Yeah. Like, have like a flare system there. It's like, no, go after the flares, because even wild animals have stuff like that where, like butterflies, they have big eyes on their wings to make themselves look bigger. Or in like snakes or lizards, their tail looks like a head. So that way, if a predator goes after them, they'll go after the tail, not their actual head. And then the lizard could just like, oh, there, you take my tail, go ahead, whatever, and just scamper off. Yeah. That's not exactly a good plan, by the way. On this part coming up here.
The Force will guide us.
Yeah. Majesty forbid the Force. On this part here. We're losing power. Thank God power to the bubble doesn't go out.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not in trouble yet. Oh, what's trouble then?
Okay, how do you know yeah, he tells Abu to stop panicking, and then he sees the giant wall of lava, and he's moving how you can panic.
Oh, and then we got an electric eel, which, how did you not see that earlier?
Look at that giant eel. I like how it glows. How did they not see that glowing when there was no power?
Yeah, I will say that part does get me, where it's like, relax, and then Obi-Wan's like, you overdid it, because he just like just knocked Jar Jar completely the fuck out. And so yeah, that part does get me.
So many monsters.
Yep.
Wow, Jar Jar recovered quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, and here we go. The giant open plains of Naboo, even though it's like we've only seen forests, they also have plains, don't worry.
That is
But again, why don't you just have your forces land? But here's the thing, why did you land in the forest if there's a giant open plain outside the city? Okay, this part too.
Is that Natalie Portman or Keira Knightley?
I would assume that's got to be Keira Knightley.
It's still Natalie Portman.
Wow. So that means when she changes like in a heartbeat, because
yes. Yes.
Which okay, so maybe that's the distinction of that. Then when we see the next time we see her, that'll be Keira Knightley then. But yeah, and here they come out through the planet core here
into a river in the middle of the city,
version,
right?
No, hold on. If you look at the background and in the extended version, they're on top of a freaking waterfall. I'm not making that up. There is legitimately a scene of them escaping the damn boat.
Who's that? Who's that?
That's got to be Keira Knightley.
This one's, because if you see behind her, no, maybe it's less obvious. Yeah, that's Keira Knightley.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, that dress is just so. Come on, emo kid. Just all black, seriously.
Because there's Natalie Portman right there next to
I saw her in the background there. Yeah. And this is something else gets into me. They have these giant statues. Why are they all? I mean, I get they're trying to go for like an ancient Roman statue type feel, but in ancient Rome, those statues would have been color. It would have been a riot of color.
Yeah, I don't know if they knew that in 1999. I vaguely recall like that being a semi-recent discovery, using technology to like pick up like the pigments.
Fair enough. Gosh. Yeah. And another thing that gets me is you see these guys and they're swinging their lightsaber with all. It's like there is no like strength conservation. They're just doing haymakers the entire time. It's like you have a lightsaber. All you have to do is touch them. Yeah. Yeah. Your negotiations have failed. We never actually negotiated. They tried to kill us.
Kind of hard to say they failed when they never actually met with us.
Yeah. No, so, I mean, granted that it was the governor saying it, so he wouldn't be the one to know, so fair enough, but still. Yeah. And this part here. What's the plan here? It's like, oh, my place is with my people. No, we need you to come to the Senate and plead your case. You need everybody there to plead the case. Because, like I said,
Padme, like glaring at
standing
her.
right there. We're brave, Your Highness. Yeah. So that one's obviously Natalie. You just kind of tell by it.
Because Natalie Portman is her handmaid right next to her, being like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Just glaring at her the whole time.
Yeah, got glare.
Make your decisions wisely. I'm watching this
one here. We need to rescue the pilots. Why are the pilots being held right there? Why are they just being held?
Take them away from the planes, right?
Yeah, seriously.
Nice. What do you want?
Well, like I mentioned I remember having this rant when we did the last Airbender of we captured these guys. Where are we going to keep them? We captured these Earthbenders. Let's keep them entirely made of Earth. Yeah. So it's like, we captured these Navy SEALs. Where are we going to keep them? In the armory.
Yep. We're going to keep them right next to their ship.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, this part gets me. We see people running away from the ship. No, get on the ship, you assholes! Where are you going? Get on the ship. Get to safety. The ship is where you need to go. Why are you running away?
Are they going to the other ships? I don't know.
I don't know. No, they're not. I don't know what the hell
they're talking to Jar Jar Binks, Obi-Wan. Oh, look, it's R2.
Oh, yay, R2. And then a green R2, and I don't know. Yeah, and here we see where, like I said, like you mentioned earlier, go up.
Go
down.
Around the blockade.
Yeah. And this part really, really bugs me. Here, hold on. The shield generator's been hit. Why is the shield generator not covered by, I don't know, a shield? Seriously. I'm almost convinced that that's not a shield generator. That's just like they just got scammed and it's like, oh, this is a shield generator. It doesn't actually do anything. It's just a glowy light, but still.
Oh no, R2's gonna die.
Yeah. Yeah, how are you not already sitting ducks? These things are horrible aim. And here's another question. Why don't they send out the fighters?
Yeah, all the pilots ran away, right? Why didn't they hop in their own ships and follow them?
Well, I was talking about the Trade Generation, but...
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they have shit tons of droid fighters. Where are those? Why don't they send those out?
Why was that flying out from... I don't understand their flight pattern at all.
I don't know. Well, I'm trying to figure out how their fuel system works, where it's just this circle with all this shit glowing in on it. And this part here, they're going to Tatooine because it's out of the way. How far out of the way are you talking here? Because if you're losing fuel... Yeah. And again, aren't there other nearby peaceful planets you could go to? Seriously?
Apparently not.
Yeah, none of it makes sense. Because again,
maybe the more peaceful planets were being controlled by the Trade Federation, and that's why they don't want to go there.
Yeah, no, but it raises the question of, because later in the movie we get the Republic. The Republic was like, the Tatooine doesn't have the Republic; it's too far out. How far out of the way did you go to get to Tatooine? Because you would assume it's nearby based on what they're talking about. And Padme doesn't realize that this nearby planet is not in the freaking Republic. And there we get Darth Maul, who David, fuck me, I forget his name. Frick. I forgot the body actor, his name, Braveheart. Yeah. And here, where it's like he's talking about, it's an extremely well-made droid. It's like, yeah, it's a droid. We get it. Shut up.
But it's R2.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's
R2-D2! Yeah. I will give the actor credit for going, it's R2-D2. He said it like it's not really a thing. I don't give George Lucas that credit because a lot of times, because it's very well known, George Lucas a lot of times was not even on set when they were filming this shit. So, and also should point out that Keira Knightley there, when she said Padme clean it up, she had a little sly smile on her. It's like, ha, I'm wearing queen around, ha ha. So, yeah. And again, I give that to Keira Knightley, not to George Lucas, because like I said, George Lucas a lot of times was not on set. From what I understand, sometimes he wasn't even in the same country when they were filming these movies. So,
but that's okay, because R2-D2 is going to become her droid anyway. Her
bestie.
Enough.
Yeah.
She's going to take care of it for Anakin.
Yep. Yeah.
I like how she uses her real name. Like, you would expect everyone to know Queen Amidala's actual first name. And therefore, Queen Padme Amidala suddenly has a hand servant named Padme. Isn't weird?
Yeah, that would be like if Joe Biden is like, hey, Joe Biden, can you go do this? It's like, wait, hold on, you have a servant named
like,
Joe Biden?
I'm President Biden. Hey, Joe, can you go clean up this droid? Yeah. Wait, Joe Biden has wait, where did this dude come from? He looks also just like Joe Biden. What?
Yeah, and this part here, I'm willing to buy them parking on the outskirts here because the last thing they ever want to do is submit to like a search or anything. So I can buy that they're parking out in the middle of nowhere here, but still you would think they would get a little bit closer.
Nah, gotta be super fucking far out.
Yeah, because we got a shot there of the city in the distance. And here, so that's at least 3 miles out. So, yeah, that's arguable about maybe, but still. Yeah. And then here it's like, this is the queen. Like, no, you're fucking taking me. This is not a good idea. Then why are you doing it? And why is R2 doing that?
Wait, what is R2 doing there?
This is just playing devil's advocate. I'm just going to be like, he's got the shopping list.
He's got the shop.
Yeah, that's me playing devil's advocate. And is this going to be the obnoxious version? Because I remember, like, I'm not sure if this is this or in the later movies, but it gets kind of obnoxious with the CGI animals and shit. I don't know if it's this or the New Hope.
I think it's A New Hope where they get obnoxious with the CGI animals, because when he did the 97 like remakes, he had way too much fun adding in animals.
Fair enough. So yeah, because I mean, like seeing that dewback there in the background. Yes, I know what that is. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, but seeing the dewback there in the background, not a big deal. Oh, and this part here, I do need to comment. There was a whole hubbub about his wings aren't big enough to support lift for him, and then someone replied, "Well, neither is a bumblebee, so shut up." Yeah. Okay, my droid has a list of what we need. So yeah, R2D2 is the shopping list because apparently they don't have an actual, I don't know, notepad or something.
Yeah. Look at little baby Anakin. He's so adorable.
Yeah, and Jake Lloyd, who I feel so bad. I mean, like I said, we're not criticizing Jake Lloyd in any of this, but he just got destroyed by some people, and like,
oh my God, but this line.
Yeah. Are you an angel?
Are you an angel?
Is that supposed to be romantic?
No, he's being just a legit, like, 9-year-old. I've heard stories of angels. I hear they're beautiful. You're beautiful. Are you an angel? He's 9. He's not trying to flirt.
Fair enough, but still. But you gotta remember,
so
these two are. Yeah. But I mean, this just raises the question: is like, you think Anakin would be older, though? Seriously. No. Which is kind of a point I have, but we'll have to wait till we get to Attack of the Clones when I bring up that point. But yeah. But I've heard so many stories. Like, I've heard so many, like, because I know of a guy who went to high school, or not high school, but went to grade school with Jake Lloyd. And his famous story is that he got beat up by Jake Lloyd. And the story goes that they were in some like gym class or something. And Jake Lloyd said, "There's no physical way for anybody to do this." And then the kids said, "Just stretch out with your feelings." At which point Jake Lloyd beat the shit out of him. Which, if true, Jake Lloyd deserved to beat the shit out of you. Because seriously, you're an asshole. Like I said, I can't comment on that if that is true or not. I don't know. I didn't go to school with these guys. And I should point out that in the background we see a whole bunch of pod racers.
Yes.
Which come up later. Which gets me. It's like, so does Watto own all the pod racers? Because those are clearly. I mean, obviously, what it is just they're just.
He owns a junkyard.
Yeah.
So these are probably broken pod racers that he sells for parts to the pod racers.
Yeah. Well,
because that's how Anakin's building his is from the junk from Watto's.
Yeah. But what needs to be said, what the reason is because they're in front of a CGI screen, and they're just model is in the background, and what they have an excess model of pod racers, because obviously. And what the hell is Jar Jar doing with all that?
I have no idea. I was just thinking the same thing.
Because I mean, it's not like he was like fidgeting with the counter and the counter's falling over. He's literally juggling all this shit.
Juggling things.
Why did no one stop him? Yeah, it's like, no, you think you'd be telling Anakin, go pick up the shit that that idiot just dropped, and clean up the racks. Then you can go home.
Oh man, he just said yippee. It's my favorite.
And like I said, no harsh criticism on Jake Lloyd, because he is still 9 years old when they made this movie. So
look at Ewan McGregor.
Yeah. Well, yeah. How old was he when they made this movie?
I don't know. I'm gonna look it up.
24. I'm gonna guess 23, 24. He's in early 20s. That's my guess. Yeah. I can think of something
28.
About. Wow.
Liam Neeson was 47.
Damn. How old was Kira, or not Kira?
Natalie Portman was 18.
Wow. So this would have been like her first big role.
No, because she, I mean, as an adult, because she was in, oh my God. She did some child acting. Like, she had some major roles as a child actress.
Fair enough.
The Professional. Leon the Professional.
Okay. Yeah, it's like, oh, thank God for... This part gets me. He's a big-time Outlander. How is he a big-time Outlander when he's a freaking punk who he's trying to steal a frog?
He doesn't know any better. That's what he's trying to say. He's just a dumb Outlander. He's not worth your time.
No, it said he's a big-time Outlander. I'd hate to see you get squashed before you race again. That's legit what was said on screen. So
that's right too.
So the only thing you can say is like he's got friends in high places who will kill you. Yeah, but this part gets of we have nothing in value. That's our problem. Sell Jar Jar into slavery, then you have shit of value.
Yeah,
you're on a planet that doesn't. I know they're not going to do that.
Oh
but seriously,
man,
I would.
Storm, how convenient.
Yeah.
Oh my god, his hairdo is just like, who thought of that for the Padawan hairstyle?
I remember in school that became a kind of a popular hairstyle for a little bit after this movie came out. No, a bunch of kids had that hairstyle for.
No one that I knew did that.
In my school, it did.
Your school sounds.
Well, my school was like the worst school ever. So, like seriously, there's a reason I went to a private school when I went to high school, because the first school I went to was horrible. I mean, we are talking like a school where like the teachers could not fail the superintendents or the principal's kids because that would look bad on them. So the teachers had to pass them, had to give them straight A's. And yeah, so that's the level of school we're talking about here. So yeah, and here where they just got out of a dust storm, but they're not covered in dust. Again, it is very difficult, yeah, good luck getting these actors.
Also, none of the dust blew into the house when they opened the door.
Yeah, that too. Well, I mean, that's kind of like, in here, South Dakota, we have two doors, because if it gets windy and snowy and shit like that, you open one door, you have two doors, so that when you open one door, it doesn't all rush into your house.
Yeah.
Which, granted, I don't know if that's like all around or if it's just like in certain spots, but. And here we got Anthony Daniels, where he's not actually shoved into a freaking golden costume.
Nope.
Yeah, here's where Anthony Daniels can actually sit in the comfort of his own home and record these lines.
And just record lines, yep.
Yeah. Which is another thing of later on where they get. Oh, yeah. It's like, if this floor is not entirely stable, they're making it because, his structure is still minimalistic. How is it? He's pretty much complete except for the covering.
Yeah.
How is it? Yeah. Yeah. And it does need to be said, Anthony Daniels apparently never got claustrophobic in the suit, except for one scene in Return of the Jedi, which props to him, because had I been in that suit, I'd be freaking the flip out.
So this one's pretty obvious. It's obviously still Keira Knightley, because Padme is in the city with Anakin.
Yeah. Babysitting.
That's
the only way to do it. Yeah. Although that part there is like, don't. This is a trick. Don't send a reply. Isn't it fucking obvious? Duh. Is that the only way? It's like, you shouldn't need to tell them. Don't signal them. But here we see Tatooine's very sparsely populated, so they clearly sent something. But it's like, are you guys stupid? Because seriously, even modern day technology, if I were to call you, this is as an example, that we have the technology that they could track where the fuck the call went.
Well, they can tell what cell tower your call would have pinged off of.
Yeah. And then from there,
that's not an exact location, but they would know what city you were in, say, but they wouldn't know like your exact address.
Well, a great example is, do you remember when Shia LaBeouf did the whole "he will not devise flag" thing? Where he started putting up this flag and then people would constantly steal it. He did that once in the middle of nowhere, and the people found it within 38 hours, because what they did is it's like, okay, the sun's setting at this time, so that means we can rule out literally a third of the country just based on where the sun's setting. And then they used literally the flights going overhead to determine where it is. Seriously. So I'm pretty sure but yeah. But like I said, if I were to call
you can definitely use it to find location, but like to find exact, you can't use cell phone.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know if you'd be able to narrow it down to the like exact point, but still, unless you had your location setting on, but
exactly. Because like
even
having your location on, it doesn't emit your location to people unless you're purposely sharing it with them. Like cell phone companies don't have, like they may have access to it, but they won't actually give it to police officers or anything. They'll only give you like, this is the cell tower he pinged off of.
Yeah. No, but like I'm saying, it can be hacked though, because you gotta remember there's having problems with smart cars, with modern cars about being hacked because people are assholes. Or I mean, like there are some people who have like their baby cams set up through the internet, and there are people who will go on those.
That's because those aren't always on secure networks. You do have to be careful with baby monitors. That is true.
Stuff like that, it just bugs me because seriously, you just use a walkie-talkie. Seriously, baby monitors have been around for a long time before the internet has. Just use the old-fashioned ones. Don't use the ones tied to the internet. Seriously.
But people need to see their kids to make sure that they're not like, oh, my kid hasn't made a noise. Is he sleeping or is he dead? Yeah. I get it.
Which according to my parents, was the single worst thing you could hear is dead silence.
Oh, that's
especially with the mother.
Yeah. If you have multiple kids and you hear dead silence, you're like, something's going on.
Yeah.
I need to find them.
No. I was about to go into a story about how there was once me and my brothers, we're all in the basement in our own separate rooms just reading. That's all we're doing. My mom comes down and just like panicked. Like, what's going on? What's going on? She comes down. She came down those stairs like a bat out of hell. Like she was expecting to find a body.
Oh man, that's funny.
So yeah, I just remember I'm reading a book, which was a Star Wars book, ironically, and it's just hearing down the stairs like boom, 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 boom. What's going on? What's going on? Because like I said, I was just sitting there reading my book and then just like hearing like a stampede coming. But yeah. And here I understand. Yeah, no, this part it does need to be said.
Does he say yippee? I'll be right back.
No. Okay, no, I was just gonna raise the question of thank God this is a slave they are talking about. Thank God this slave has an apartment big enough to house. We have 3 fully grown humanoids, and yeah, thank God she has that much spare room because in my apartment, I don't. In my apartment, I have room for maybe one more person, and we'd have to be very friendly. Seriously, the only way I could. But granted, I do live in a studio apartment. But then again, she's a slave. You'd think she'd live in a studio apartment. Because I mean, that's by the way, in ancient Rome and ancient civilizations, that's pretty much how slaves lived. You would be lucky if you had your own family dwelling, because you lived with all the other slaves. So yeah, you'd be lucky if you had rooms set up specifically for you and your family. Yeah. And how did you? I acquired a pot and gave it a chance. I understand. Yeah, you gotta lie to, but still, it's kind of a. It is kind of like you'd think you'd have registration of that. Yeah. 50-50. I don't know. And mind you, they just are talking about the deal now. It's like, oh, how much will we split the winnings? Yeah. So, I don't know. Welcome. Oh, you got a blanket.
I'm cold. It's cold. The air from my AC or whatever just blows right on.
Blowing directly on you?
Yeah.
That's poor setup. I mean, granted, that just reminds me of there's a Robot Chicken skit about how the Emperor Palpatine is in his chair and it's directly below an AC vent. And here we got more dewbacks. Which here's a question that I never asked before. How is it Tatooine, a desert planet, has so much freaking life on it, yet no water at all? God,
you're right. I mean, there's got to be moisture somewhere, right? Because even in the desert, animals exist because they can survive on little water that they get from cactus and stuff.
Yeah, but here's a question: how big is Shami's dwelling? Because like I said, she's a slave. Keep that in mind. Yeah, she has an apartment big enough to house. We have Qui-Gon Jinn, Natalie Portman. We have Qui-Gon Jinn, Padme Amidala, Jar Jar Binks. That's a pretty big house, and not to mention she apparently has a lot where her son can build a pod racer. Being a slave here, it must be pretty. You must pay very well because she clearly is pretty well to do.
Or Watto just really enjoys her son and, gives them the big place to live in.
Maybe. But yeah,
this is when we find out that Anakin's father is the Force.
Yeah. Which there have been so many things trying to piece this together, and I'm just going to put it this way. George Lucas, the internet has tried, it doesn't work.